people, how are you? Hope you like my lazy boy intro, no effort b-roll. I made it simple just to do this video as fast as I can because I have a lot of work waiting me at my computer, and I wanted to do this video for quite a while now. As you saw in the title, I'm gonna speak about the R6, the newly released camera from Canon. And I have it now for almost a month, so I have some experience using it and I can tell is it good or not, since I have a lot of experience as a professional photographer and actually a cinematographer. I have a master's degree in photography and a bachelor degree in cinematography. I've been working 13 years as a professional photographer, and usually I was doing sort of video, but last 2 years half of my work is video based. So I think I'm well experienced to talk about where does the R6 fits in a professional workflow. So let's start. First, actually I want to say this is not the R6, this is the R5. I've shot all the b-rolls of R6 with the R5. I will do the video about the R5 later. I decided to do first the video about the R6 because I think this camera went under the radar among a lot of people, and a lot of people are maybe not aware how good the camera is. So I will try to do like a video where I can maybe help somebody to decide whether this camera is good for them or not. This is my attempt of doing that video. I bought both of the cameras straight away when they were available, and I'm really happy with them. So let's start with the photography side of the camera. First of all, I always wanted to have like a baby 1DX, and I think I finally got it. It has the same sensor and same processor like the 1DX. It shoots 12 frames per second, which is amazing. Also 20 frames in electronic mode, which I don't like to use because it has its own problems. But 12 is enough for me. I don't need actually more than that because it's really hard to struggle with all the files, and I think 12 is enough for what I do. I'm also like official Red Bull photographer, so I do a lot of sports, and I used to do a lot of weddings, and I can see a really good use for this camera. First of all, the low light capabilities are amazing. I tried to shoot some photos at ISO 25,000, and I would say in like depending on what you're gonna use them for, but they're usable. If it's a good light situation, you can easily use those photos. The autofocus is amazing. It found eye in a situation where the whole scene was only lit by moonlight and not even a full moon. Also in body image stabilization is amazing. I managed to do like 1/3 of a second shot, and it was handheld with an old f/35 1.4 Mark 1. So the lens doesn't have the image stabilization, so it can even get better, I guess. Handheld, like that's amazing. From my point of view, I don't even have to carry a tripod for a lot of situations, and for the stuff I do, that's really handy. Now let's talk about the 20 megapixels. I think a lot of people don't understand how good these megapixels are. For example, this photo that I'm showing now, I shot with the 1DX Mark 1. It's hard commercial photo. The set was really big, but I had not much time, so I decided to use 1DX instead of. Then I had, I think, 5D Mark 4 already, because it was faster. And these photos were used in all types of prints, like from billboards to magazine prints, and all, like basically in all situations that you can imagine using a commercial photo. This was a high production that was costing like few €100,000. So if you can use an 18 pixels for that kind of use, I think this 20 is enough for everything, especially if you know how to frame right away. I mean, they are not for people who crop a lot, because if you crop a lot you will lose a lot of data, and I mean you still can use it for sport, for newspaper, for weddings, that stuff, but for like large prints I doubt that you can use it if you cropped it, especially if you are like strongly cropping the photo. Then this is the camera for you, the R5. And also if you're doing like large fine art prints, then I would suggest also the R or even the 5D SR, because I think they can produce more detailed image. But for 90% of situations, like regarding photography, 20 megapixels will do you good. You can work really easily with those files. The workflow will be much faster than with the 45 megapixels, especially if you consider the compressed RAW both cameras have. It's amazing. I've done some tests and I don't see any noticeable difference in regarding the quality of the files, and the files, the compressed RAW files are half the size, so that will save you a lot of money regarding hard drives, especially with 12 frames per second, or even if you're like using the 20 frames per second. So regarding photography, I would say this is a perfect workhorse for weddings, sport photography. It has an amazing animal IF that's even better than, I mean, the autofocus is probably better than the 1DX Mark III that doesn't have the animal IF. I have a black cat and a dog that's basically black, and it found their eyes straight away in really low light situations. So it's really versatile camera. I don't see a lot of scenarios where 20 megapixels, I mean this high quality 20 megapixels would not be good enough for you. Think twice before you bash on this camera regarding the quality of the files, because they are really high quality. I saw even some comparisons where people did the same photos with the Canon 5D Mark IV and the Canon R that is 30 megapixels, and blew up the files from this camera and they got the same results. So basically this 20 megapixels has the quality of the old 30 megapixel sensor regarding the details. So let's talk about the video. First I'm gonna touch the overheating. The problem still persists, but they change it a lot with the new firmware. The cooldown times are much better. I even managed to like force the camera to overheat, and then I was shooting photos and it gave me, after like 5 minutes of taking photos, I don't know, 5 minutes of 4K 60. So it's cooling down while you take photos, which is perfect for hybrid shooters that are maybe doing photo and video at the same time. It's still not like a video camera, so you have to be aware of that, but I think for most of use case scenarios, I think it's really usable as an A cam, probably, but as a B cam for sure. I think I can combine these two cameras pretty well. This as my A cam with Ninja 5, I can record externally without even thinking about overheating, and also it has a 4K lower quality mode that doesn't overheat. But as an A cam, like a main camera, R6 is still, I think, usable, especially considering you have like decent quality 1080p always available, even to 120 frames per second. So you can basically, if it's overheats, just switch to full HD, film few shots like that, maybe then the situation passes, you can turn it off and it will recover really fast. I think now it's a decent hybrid camera. The image quality is amazing. Actually, I think the 4K 60 is better quality than the one in the R5, and the 4Ks like 24, 30 or 25 are all high quality and really good quality. Like regarding sharpness, detail, dynamic range and that stuff, they are usable in professional workflows. Now with maybe getting, if the camera gets the Canon Lock 3, it's gonna have more dynamic range, so it's gonna be more usable. I hope they will introduce also some new bit rates or even different compressions for the camera. That will allow maybe even longer record times in regarding the overheating. The autofocus is like absurdly good. As I said in photo, it works the same in video. It accepts SD cards, which is cheaper than the CF Express cards here. And also I've edited some files on my iMac, and it's really easier to edit in IPB, I guess, than the Ali-E for some reason. My computer doesn't struggle with these 4K files as much. And also I think that's it regarding like video. I think this is a high quality camera. It has its like limits regarding the overheat, so it's not for everybody. But if you are thinking about it, if you're like only a video shooter, I think you should test it first to see if it fits your workflow. It's not for every workflow. For mine it suits well, but for not yours maybe it's not. But there are options that are maybe better for video than this. The R6 is not perfect. It's almost perfect, I would say. I have few things that I would like maybe to see differently on the next generation. First, I would say I like more the small screen that the R and the R5 have. The mode dial, I don't like it because I think this is much faster to use, and it's additional information that you can use for like in some situations that can help you to have like a faster workflow. Also, the mode dial that they've put has the video mode and the manual mode like on the opposite side, so you have to do half of the circle to switch the modes, and a lot of people are using just the manual mode, so I don't see why they did it, but they did it and I don't like it. And also you cannot program C1, C2, C3 to do some like video modes. You can only program it for photo modes. I would like them to change that. I'm missing no overheat 4K, so like a lower quality 4K that this camera has, at least cropped 4K, that's like just any type of 4K that is not overheating. For I don't know, currently I don't need it, and I have the R5 for that situations that has it at least, but I think maybe that's possible with different bit rates, different compressions, so I hope they will change that in the future updates. Also, I would like to see like in the new version large HDMI, the micro. Well, this is micro. I think it's really not like good connection, and I would prefer it to have on both cameras to have the large HDMI, and I think a lot of people have pointed that out. And also in the menu system they put like slow motion mode, like 120 frames per second in a different menu compared to the other frame rates. They've done it in both of the cameras, and I don't see why they doing that. They've been doing it in like the 5D Mark IV and the R. I would just like to have everything in one menu. It wouldn't be confusing, and it would be much faster over workflow, and a lot of people are using 120 today a lot. So that's basically what I would change. The rest is for me perfect. The size, the speed of the photography side and video is almost good enough. For like, if I had two of these cameras, I think I could do video without problem. This camera is basically a perfect little brother to the R5, and actually if you consider you get with for basically the same amount of money of 1DX Mark III, you get almost similar performance in smaller bodies. So for a lot of people this is a better choice to buy two cameras instead of one. And I think I'm happy now and I don't have to buy a new camera for at least 4 years now. I mean, at least regarding photography. Maybe for video I will consider the cinema line. I'm waiting for the RF mount cinema lines that I will probably invest next year. So I hope this video was not too boring. I didn't go to like a lot of details. I think there is enough information on other people's channels. This is just my experience of using this camera. I hope I helped somebody maybe in their decision whether to buy the camera or not. I think it's a good choice for vloggers because it has a high ISO capability. So with an f4 lens, like that is a cheaper solution. You can vlog in almost every situation, I would say. It's like if you buy this camera, you're good for like next few years, I would say, regarding video and photo in a lot of cases. Hope this was helpful. See you in the next video, probably about the R5. If you have any questions, just ask down there in the comment section. And also, if you like the video, press the like button. If you didn't like, press twice unlike button, or maybe like it anyway. Subscribe to me if you haven't. I keep asking for that, but I will try to produce more content on YouTube. But that's I decided to shift a lot of my energy to YouTube. So I hope my content will get better with time and with your support. See you and bye.